Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone that's seen the eighth wonder of the world, welcome to the Wednesday Night Jokenet, where we will pretend to be de-expeditioning on Skull Island. I am KE8PVL, your net control for the evening. My name is Nemo, November Echo Mike Oscar, and I am located, actually, in Denmark Township. Before I go any further, is there anyone that needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic? All right, nothing heard. If anybody does need the repeater for emergency or priority traffic, please break in at any time with break and your call sign. We will gladly concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Again, this is the Wednesday Night Jokenet, and we are here on the 146715 repeater. This is a directed net, and all traffic should go through net control. Everyone with a valid amateur radio license is encouraged to participate. Everybody else that is listening to us on Scanner and our various social media outlets, thank you. We appreciate you too. This net meets every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And the purpose of this net is to have fun making each other laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around or you may miss something. Before I go down the list of regular check-ins, I will say this repeater is owned and operated by the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club. It's an open repeater, and it's available for public use. Obviously, the RF frequency for this repeater is 146715, and the PL tone for it is 141.3. I almost forgot that. There is an Echolink node to reach this repeater, and we appreciate everybody who checks in that way. The node for that is NHCT-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions. Other than that, we are good to go. Let's break for time. We'll go down the list and see who all's here tonight. All right, starting off my top of the list as usual, I've got Jeff KC8LAR. All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully everything's okay. That's 2 weeks in a row. That's not like him. Maybe we'll be doing a call to him later on and see what's going on. Hopefully he's all right. Maybe he's just out to dinner. All right, next on the list, I've got Dan. Maybe he can join us tonight. N8DRL. Well, he must still be in recovery mode and maybe not at home yet. That's all right. Hopefully, our best wishes are all going out to him, and hopefully he'll recover soon, and we'll get him back on the air. How about Ken, KE8YBN?
Ken KE8YBN there. Yep, we're out here in the Mobile again. What's that frequency that you're on trying to get you on the radio? Or someone going to bring you in here? Back to net.
What frequency are we on? Question mark? Come again.
Yes, the frequency. I got mine tuned into 147.255. I might be the wrong frequency. Thank you. Back to net.
All right, very good. I just wanted to make sure I was giving you the correct information there. We are 146.715, 146.715 with the PL tone of 141.3. So you should be able to spin your VFO dial right over there. And if you're, depending on the radio you're using, it should just pick right up.
Roger. Okay. Thank you much. Right now.
All right, still going down the list here. We'll go out to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet.
Good evening, everybody. Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet.
All right, Wayne, good to hear you on the radio tonight. Always a pleasure having you with us. We'll go out to Cleveland Heights. How about Dave, K8TIE?
evening, Nemo. Good evening, Nat. For your reference, it's AI that actually admits it's imbecile. KTIE. Back to net control.
All right, very good. I will log that guess. Thank you for that very much. How about it? Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. Vito, are you with us this evening?
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. Present. Back to
All right, we got him locked in there. Thank you for being here tonight, Vito. We'll go out to Jim, KE8 LFR. All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully he's doing okay too. He's probably under a car somewhere or out playing taxi cab. Everything's gonna be all right with that. Maybe he'll check in with us just a little later on. We'll go out to Hiram in the meantime. We'll see if he's punching through the trees tonight. W8 KNO Joe. W8 KNO, are you with us this evening, sir? All right, nothing heard there. I thought I heard him do a radio check before we started the net, but that's okay. How about Bruce over there across the lake? Victor Echo 6, X-Ray Tango Charlie. All right, nothing heard there. Wonder what happened to him there. Hopefully he's doing okay too. Must be everybody's getting ready with this chilly weather. It must be. How about Drew Alpha 8 Delta Lima?
Alpha 8 Delta Lima is present. Back to net.
All right, Drew, got you in the log. Thank you for joining us tonight. Always a pleasure having you on the net. And Ron is next on my list. KC8 RJO. All right, nothing heard there. And I know I heard this call sign come across the repeater just a few moments ago via Echolink, so we'll reach out to her. Kilo Echo 8 Oscar, Kilo Echo 8 Victor, K8ZVO. I can't remember my phonetics. Ruth Hand, is that you, and are you with us tonight?
Absolutely. KE8ZVO here. Looking forward to the net. Back to you.
All right, very good. At least I got some of that right. K8ZVO, we got you locked into the net tonight. Thank you for joining us. That rounds out the list as I have it. Is there anybody I missed or anybody who would like to check in? Please call K8PVL.
EC8 LAR. Better late than never.
KC8 LAR, I got you locked in here. Anybody else? All right, well, that was the station ID. That doesn't count. This is Kilo Echo 8 Papa Victor Lima, and this is the Wednesday Night Jokenet. And we'll get into this week's joke since we've got everybody here that's going to check in, at least right this second. This week's joke's a good one. One thing about telling jokes about time, they never get old. So this one will last for a good long while, I'm sure. This week's joke, what did the clock do when it was hungry? This week's joke, what did the clock do when it was hungry? And, man, I don't know where to start. We'll start with Vito. He likes to give a good one out there. So Vito, Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India. What did the clock do when it was hungry?
Alpha Delta 8, Oscar India here. Yeah, I was really hoping you weren't going to say me. What did the clock do when it was hungry? That's a good question. I think it snacked on some seconds. Back to that.
All right, snacked on some seconds. Very good. I like that answer. That puts us down to Drew, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. Drew, what did the clock do when it was hungry?
I'm guessing when the clock was hungry, it ate 4-2 and had seconds. Back to net control, Alpha 8, Delta Lima.
All right, just kept going back. How about Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO? What did the clock do when it was hungry?
KEA I think he just ate up some time. Back to you.
All right, very good. It ate up some time. At least it didn't get chucked out the window, right? This isn't that joke. All right. Jeff, KC8 LAR, what did the clock do when it was hungry?
A good question. I think he ate for a minute and then went back for seconds. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Back to that, KC8 LAR.
All right, a lot of people saying he went back for seconds. Very good. We'll go up to Ken, KE8YBN. Hopefully you're hearing us okay down that way. What did the clock do when it was hungry?
Well, they can think of it, push both hands at the 12 o'clock, called lunchtime, back to net.
All right. Yep, a clock can tell you it's lunchtime early, that's for sure. How about Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet? What did the clock do when it was hungry?
I'd have to go with it. It ate some time. I went back for seconds.
All right, very good. And that puts us out to Cleveland Heights there. K8TIE, Dave, what did the clock do when it was hungry?
It waved its hands at its plate to shoo off the flies. KATIA, back to that control.
All right, very good. It waved its hands to get rid of the flies. I got one of them buzzing around me right now anyway. All right, that rounds out the list as I have it. Before I get into the answer, is there anybody else that would like to check into the net? Please call K8PVL. All right, nothing heard. So tonight's joke, what did the clock do when it was hungry? Man, I didn't stump nobody. It went back for seconds. Everybody rode that wave pretty much all the way down the line. So I'm going to have to come up with a better joke for next week. But, and man, that round went quick. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, enough of the puns and getting in there with all that. Let me do some quick announcements, and then we'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, so of course you know the area's District 10 Emergency Services Training Net is every Monday night on this repeater. That's 146715 with a negative offset, PL tone of 141.3, and an Echolink node of N8CT-L. Please, everybody, as best you can, check in over there. Give emergency services a hand. They definitely could use it. And tonight's discussion topic relates to that. As we go down the list here of announcements, though, the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club's weekly net is also on this repeater every Thursday night at 8 p.m. 146715, obviously, and PL tone 141.3 and N8CT-L. Check in over there. There's some great folks that run that net over there, and or on Thursday nights, I should say. I'm so used to saying over there. We were on that other repeater for a little while there, and I just got used to saying that. All right, so check out over here on the 146715 repeater every Thursday night at 8 p.m. There's some good folks to check into that net. I have other things to do usually during that time frame, so I don't get a chance to check into it anymore. But, hey, check in, give them some numbers. All right, the Amigos Radio Club Ashtabula's monthly meeting is this Saturday, October 11th at 6 p.m. That's coming up here, this Saturday. And that's going to be held at 3600 Stanhope, Kelloggsville Rd in Jefferson, Ohio. That would be the Jefferson Conservation Club. Good group of folks over there also. And appreciate they letting us use that facility for our monthly meetings there. And if you have any scheduled nets or general announcements you'd like relayed on this net here, please feel free to drop me a line via Facebook. The Wednesday Night Jokenet page is up and running, obviously, for a long time now. Or just send me a text message. I'll work it into the general announcements. All right, that's it for the announcements as I have it. Let me step out of the way. We'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, this is K8PBL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet, and we'll just go right down the list the way we had it. We'll start with Vito, Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India. Thank you for being here tonight, my friend. And what do you got for the group? Okay, well, I'm going to have to learn how to hit the reverse button on this radio because that did not come through as well as I would have liked it to. But hopefully everything's okay over there. Give us one more try just for checking on the radio.
Alpha Delta 8 Oscar India testing. Good night.
All right, very good. That sounded better. Let's try your comment one more time.
All right, I am working on my computer, struggling to get my model fixed to reprint a transformer box to replace the one for my antenna. Back to that.
All right, very good on the transformer box. We got you in there that time. Appreciate you coming back one more time with that. And hopefully it turns into a Lamborghini too, because you know how those transformers are. All right, we'll keep on moving down the list. We'll go down to Drew, Alpha 8 Delta Lima. Thank you for joining us tonight, my friend. And what do you got for the group?
I don't know if some of you guys remember a while back, I kind of got into DMR for a little bit, and then the N1 TVI repeater out here just took the DMR function down from that repeater. So for like a year and a half, I had DMR radio and nothing to use it on. So I finally decided to get myself a hotspot. Went with the OpenSpot 4 because it seemed like it was largely plug and play, and also it's you know, you can take it out. Basically, you can just have your phone and that and your HT and basically talk to anybody from anywhere you have internet. So it took a while to get all set up. It's definitely not super easy, but it's pretty cool once it's set up. So I've just been listening to that a lot, and I don't know if anybody else does that at all. If they do, let me know. I'll send it back to Net Control, Alpha 8 Delta Lima.
All right, very good. Absolutely. So if anybody's interested in doing some DMR stuff there, you're working on it. I don't have any equipment here, I think, that is capable of doing DMR, but I was reading some DMR over Meshtastic things just the other day, and that's kind of interesting to me, so I wouldn't mind checking out some of that, especially locally here. All right, but we'll keep on moving. We'll go down to Ruth Ann. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ruth Ann. Appreciate you being here. Missed you last week, but glad you're checking in tonight. What do you got for the group? KE8ZVO, go ahead.
KE8ZVO. Not too much to tell you. We finally got out of the 95 to 100 degree weather, and we've had a little bit of rain in the last few weeks, like a total of an inch over rain. It comes on fast and furious, but not much actually goes to specific places. But I love it here. It's gorgeous. People are absolutely friendly, and I'm glad I'm here. I do miss you guys, and that's why I wanted to check in tonight. So back to net, KE8ZVO.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for checking in with us. We miss you too, and we're glad to hear your friendly voice anytime you want to be around on the net. I think I remember seeing some pictures not too long ago of you and some folks standing around out in the middle of a big field with a bunch of stuff going on behind you. I want to say balloons, if that's what I remember correctly, but hopefully that's that I'm thinking in the right direction there. But I'm glad you're having a great time out there. I'm sure that area is great for ballooning and gliders and ham radios, and I think there was an amateur rocket club out that way at one point, I think too. But that's a long time ago, I think. We'll keep on going down the list, and we'll go to Jeff, KC8 LAR. Good to have you with us, sir. You're not late. You're just in time. Go ahead with your comments.
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. Good to hear everybody out there tonight. Took the week off, just trying to get some stuff done around the house. Rather cool today, so we test fired the furnace, made sure everything was in order. Get a new filter in her, get her cleaned out, and just take care of some other things around here. I've been trying to prep the house the kids are moving into, my eldest. So I've been trying to help him with that, and a lot of other family things going on. So staying busy, that's for sure. And trying to get some rest and relaxation in between. Although I think I'm going to have to go back to work for that. So we'll figure it out one way or another. With that, we'll pass it back to Net Control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, very good. Yep, absolutely. Try and get the housing situation squared away there, and Yeah, I've been running fires last couple, at least this past week or so, anyway, in the evening times. That's it's been dropping down to some nice cool weather, and yesterday's rain didn't help or hurt anything either. We definitely needed that. All right, we'll go over to Ken, all the way out in Andover, K8YBN. Thank you for joining us tonight. What do you got for the group, sir?
Well, gang, I just got back to the little community I'm in down here in the neighborhood, and we got a bunch of moles. Seeing the people here putting flags in the ground, and this machine out there and putting mold machines through the ground like those, because they're putting in underground for internet. What do you call it? Fiber optics. Anyways, I guess you get more modern every time. Huh? Back to that. It might begin.
Yeah, they do that. I'm not surprised it hasn't come a little faster down there. Actually, I would think it would. They actually ran fiber out here, and when they went to run it down my road, not that I want a wire coming into my property, but when they ran it down my road, they started at the far end, and the only thing down there is a couple Amish houses and a great big field of corn. And they stopped it right at the edge of the field of corn just before anybody would be able to use it. It's kind of crazy. And but hey, that's just the way things are. All right, we'll keep on going down the list. Wayne Alpha Charlie 8 Yankee Juliet, thank you for joining us tonight. And what do you got for everybody?
Haven't been up to too much lately. My cord on my mobile that I've been using in the car died. I had to get a new cord. I got a cheap one on eBay. Should be here in a couple of days. So I haven't been on the radio too much at all, especially in two meters. So kind of missing it a little bit. So I was glad to get on tonight. Do some talking. Thanks for having me, and thanks to the Ashtabula County Radio Club for letting us use this repeater. Back to the control. Alpha Charlie, Yankee Juliet.
All right, very good. Absolutely. We'll keep on going down the list. We'll go out to K8TIE. Dad, good to have you with us tonight. Always a pleasure hearing you on the radio. What do you got for the group?
Well, a couple of things. My grandson, Xavier, was out helping with the West Virginia or the Virginia centered Baja Run. I think they leave their tracks set up all year round. He was not running a car or officially on the team, but so what he was done is he was one of the greenies that shoves all the stuck cars out of the back onto the track. But so it was fun watching some of that and finding out where they finished. My daughter Ursula let me know about it going on. It was interesting. I kind of like watching that. So I got that notice. That was run last week. This week I'm looking at it, and I was getting right set up to renew my license, and now they've quote shut down the government, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not I can actually set up a payment of fees portal while the government is shut down. I'll have to take and really try that. So that sounds like it was the shutdown was actually an AI project of the government's. That is artificial imbecile. KTIA. Back to the net.
All right. Well, as far as I know, license renewals is not affected by the government shutdown because that's handled through a separate web portal that is private public partnership thing, and it doesn't have anything to do with the FCC in general, so to speak. They're just a fees processing center for the FCC. What has been affected via amateur radio anyway via the government shutdown is new license applications. So anybody with a new license taking the test today, and not an upgrade but a new license taking the test today, is going to get thrown into a queue until everything's resolved with the government shutdown. So that's the only real situation that I'm aware of that is affecting ham radio as far as the shutdown goes. So you should be able to log into the payment portal for the FCC and pay your renewal fee, whatever it is, across that payment portal platform. And all you should have to do is just follow the instructions, and you should be able to get it done. I haven't had to do a renewal yet, so I'm not quite sure how it's done, but I'm sure there's plenty of resources out there for you to take a look at to do it. And well, we'll keep on going down. Oh wait, well, that rounds out the list as I have it. That puts us at the bottom of the list. So this is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet here on the 146715 repeater. And before I go any further, is there anybody that would like to check in or anybody that would like to recheck? All right, nothing heard. Very good. And so tonight's discussion topic, we'll move right into that. Pretty cool thing that's going on. I know we were just sort of talking about the government shutdown, but it's not really the way things are. It just means you can't go to the bathroom in the park. I don't know how you make that happen. Maybe some women are upset about that, but most of us guys, we can go to the bathroom in the park. I'm sure there's some other things too. But more importantly than that, something that just happened not too long ago, the U.S. Department of Energy recently worked with a bunch of amateur radio operators in the state of Kentucky, and that happened just this past week, I believe, to conduct nuclear cleanup emergency drills. Now, I know up here, my understanding is that's the first time they've worked down there with amateur radio operators. I know up here we have the Perry drill, and the Perry drill up here activates, generally speaking, Ashtabula, Geauga, Cuyahoga, Lake County, like that whole surrounding area, in case something happens there. But down there, really in Kentucky, down there where this drill took place, they've been taking in that area the amateur radio services a lot more seriously as of late. After the hurricanes that ran through there literally just a year ago, several schools, and I know I've talked about it, have instituted, especially in the not the private schools, but the public community colleges, have instituted amateur radio classes as part of their emergency training class offerings. So let me break. So I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the city / county, whatever, in Kentucky that this took place in, because I would pronounce it horribly and people would be mad. But this was a mock emergency drill that involved government-owned sites that conduct nuclear waste deactivation and spent fuel cleanup, and it took place, and it involved more than 100 sites across the country, and it was held and led and by the Department of Energy's Emergency Management Program, which handles that kind of stuff. And this is the first time that first responders, natural disasters, all that have been all brought together all the way up to the federal level for emergency nuclear cleanup stuff. And they went they did emails and message trafficking all the way up to the Department of Energy in Washington D.C., the headquarters there. So they, all the way down from the local level. So good for them, the guys there. I don't have all the call signs in front of me and all the stations that were involved, but obviously there were quite a few, and they did it all under the local Aries group. So good for them, which is why I say, but please help with the Aries stuff as best you can, and maybe we need to be doing more. More of us should probably participate in the Perry drill up here. All right, let me break. We'll go down the list. We'll talk about it. All right, 88OI. Vito, good to have you tonight. And yeah, we're talking about emergency preparedness. And hey, you know what? We're integrating with the government. Good for these guys down there. Nuclear cleanup emergency drills. What are your thoughts?
Alpha Delta 8 Australia. Well, emergency preparedness is a good thing. Don't have much sales. Sorry, I was half paying attention. Kind of got deep in the weeds with this model. So I'll recheck if I have any other comments after I hear some others. Back to that.
All right, very good. I understand how that can be. How about it, Alpha 8 Delta Lima? Drew, good to have you with us again. And nuclear cleanup drills, maybe we need to do a little bit more of that around here. What are your thoughts?
I will repeat something I've said a few times before, and I think we should have more of a simplex net where the simulation is basically the repeaters are down, and we try to, spread some message from point A to point B or something like that. I've seen some things on Facebook and stuff where I think like GMRS is trying to get something where they send a message like a Hands Across America kind of thing, but I don't think they'll have much success with that, and I don't think you would have much success with something like that unless you did it at a pretty small level. But, if you did it like, Cuyahoga Lake and Ashtabula County, and you tried to, get a message from, Pymatuming, let me break. To say, get it downtown or something just by simplex, I think that'd be kind of fun. But that's really all I have to say about that side of things this evening. So I'll send it back to Net Control, Alpha 8 Delta Lima.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, a relay drill across the state would be pretty cool. So even just across the, well, shoot, we could do it across our county because we're so big. But yeah, even just between Ashtabula to Toledo, that would be a pretty good thing to try. I know that when they activate, when Gears does their drill or does their training, that they do simplex immediately after. I know when we activate for the Perry stuff, like when the Perry drill goes, a lot of that is about traffic management and getting people into shelters safely. For that kind of thing, evacuation and shelter in place stuff. But after that, I don't know what the plan is for cleanup. I've only participated in that drill a couple times. But we'll go out to Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. And what do you got for the group as far as our topic for conversation tonight?
KE8ZVO. Well, I just moved to the center of the history of nuclear development in America. There's a nuclear museum in town. Los Alamos or somewhere around, and around the state, and I'm sure that they are really aware of nuclear cleanup here too. They do have a very well netted radio system here across the state, really. I mean, I think people can check in from nodes all over the place. So I'm anxious to get to a meeting. Their first one was canceled due to the $25 entry fee for their Hamfest, and the next one I'm going to be out of state, so I can't go to a meeting until November. But I'm looking forward to it. Back to you, KE8ZVO.
You know, I forget. It's been a while, but you are out in Nevada. Are you by closer to Los Alamos, or is Rocky Flats? Rocky Flats was part of Nevada too, right? Plus the other stuff that's goes on out there. Do you know which one you might be closer to?
Actually, I haven't investigated it yet, but I have seen the outside of the nuclear museum. I'm kind of saving all the touristy things for when people come to visit. So just having fun getting around and learning my way around. Back to you.
Well, it sounds like a road trip reunion for next summer, man. I'll tell you that. Maybe I'll have a camper by then and we can take a trip around. All right. We'll go down to Jeff, KC8 LAR. What are your thoughts? Nuclear cleanup drills?
I think that's a good idea. I think drills in general are a good idea. You gotta practice to make better. If you don't practice, you'll never become cohesive, and you need it to be stuck in muscle memory if it happens. So, just my thoughts on it. I guess, a relay I think would be a good idea. I know we used to run one here on Monday nights after the fact, after our regular check-ins, and be surprised how well you can hear some people and how poor you can hear others. So, but it all goes hand in hand. So whether it's cleaning up from a snowstorm or cleaning up from a train derailment or whatever, I guess you gotta kind of all be on the same page. But that's what I know, and it ain't a whole lot. Turn it back to Net Control. This is KC8 LAR.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we'll go down to Ken, KE8YBN. What are your thoughts, man? You're a little far away from the nuclear plant, but your thoughts on doing nuclear cleanup drills, and how about them guys down in Kentucky getting all the way up to the White House? K8YBN, are you still with us? All right, well, maybe he secured his station. That's okay. I don't blame him there, especially since he said he was mobile. We'll go over to Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. What are your thoughts tonight, sir? Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Did you secure your station too? All right, maybe he fell asleep in his radio room there, or he might have went down the hall. K8TIE, Dave, good to have you again tonight. And the nuclear cleanup drills, I know you haven't actually listened or participated in them, but I know you might want to do that the next time it comes around on the radio. What are your thoughts?
Well, I did work in nuclear health physics, so a couple of our company actually outfitted the people who were working on the cleanup with badges, thermoluminescent readable badges, readable, reusable. And when they had that Perry shut down and leak and stuff, we sent a bunch of people out to that. And there was no particular leak from that, but what they found was there were all kinds of slag piles of just other heavy metals and stuff like that that were mined out there that were really more of a environmental problem than anything that came from the power plant. And we sent some people down to one that went down in Georgia or something, and they had to rewire about half the plant because of the fact that they had needed to lower the wiring, backup wiring, and the regular wiring in adjacent troughs. And so when the wiring caught fire because it was overheating and stuff, it took out both sets of wires, and they had to wire the whole thing. It took them almost a whole day to do it, but they took it and beat the meltdown. So the one thing is, break for time. At least the light water reactors and stuff have a certain amount of dead time that they can survive, that you can have some real time to actually cope with getting it up and running back again. I don't know what's going to happen with Perry because I think they're trying to decommission it. I don't know what the news of that is. There's kind of a political fight. There's some local people that are trying to keep it open, but they've had such a glut on the oil market that they didn't. That they were being outcompeted by conventional, quote, non-environmentally happy fuels. So I'm kind of wondering what will come out on that. But I wouldn't mind trying to get in on one of those exercises, although I don't have my own transportation. KTI. Oh, by the way, I'll let TriviaNet know that K8ZVO and Ruth Ann, I heard her talk to her and listened to her. KTIE, back to net control.
All right, very good. Yep, actually, that's one of the things about that repeater over there, the 9.4 machine. It is not Echolink enabled. I understand why they don't do it. There's a lot going on that machine there. It would just be adding another layer of complication to the mix. All right, that rounds out the list as I have it. And this is KE8PBL with the Wednesday Night Jokenet. Before we go any further or do anything else, is there anybody that would like to check in or anybody with a recheck? All right, nothing heard. Very good. Thank you, everybody, for joining the net tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put a bow on it. And without you guys, this net wouldn't happen. And I would just be sitting here talking into the microphone all by myself, and none of us would be having any fun. I also want to thank the Ashtabula County Amateur Radio Club for allowing us to use this repeater every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. for this net. I also want to thank everybody who is currently serving and retired from service to this country. Your sacrifices will not be forgotten. This is KE8PBL. I'm going to return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that might be. Be good to each other, everybody. KE8PBL is clear.